Welcome back to Cigar Exploration Headquarters. I was not going to make a video today. It is dark, it is cold, it is wintertime here. I wasn't going to bother. I was looking for a stick to smoke. Just was going to pick one and randomly smoke it, and I ran across this, which I did not know I had. This is a GURKHA. It's a Churchill size, but it is a Black Dragon. I had forgot that I even had this stick, and I thought, wow, I really got to smoke this. Make a video, share my exploration with you guys. Never had one of these before. Really excited about it. It smells like leather and cocoa. It's really dark. It's got a nice dark wrapper, nice dark leaf on it. Really pretty cigar band. Scary, but pretty. You see the person's name there that owns the company. Black Dragon. So let's get it cut. I'm not going to waste a lot of time today. I also found a bourbon that I've never had before that I forgot I bought. So I found a cigar I didn't know I had and found a bourbon I didn't know I had. So this is going to be great. Now, let's hope anyway. As long as this cigar has a good draw, this is going to be a great video. Here we go. Let's get a cut on this. We are just going to nip the end of this off with a straight cut. All right, so it peeled the leaf a little bit, as you can see, but no worries at all. Just comes right off. Okay. Looks great. Let's see what we got. Okay. So as we've discussed many times, draw doesn't have anything to do with the cut. It has to do with how tight it is in certain spots. So let's hope that this stick has a good draw. All right, let's get a cold draw on it. Kind of tastes like cereal from when you were a kid. Like Cheerios with no sugar on it. Draw feels fine. Feels like it's going to be pretty decent. Getting tobacco. Leather. Still some leather there. A little cocoa. Mostly just kind of like an oaty, sort of cereal-y kind of flavor. I'm sure it's going to rain on me while we're doing this, so like I said, I'm not going to waste a lot of time today. Let's get this thing lit. Get it toasted up and lit. I've shown this lighter on my channel before. This thing is a beast. It's just a single flame, but this thing kicks ass. Gotta be really careful not to burn the stick. Keep it nice and far away. What are you guys drinking? What are you guys smoking today? It smells chocolatey. It smells good. Smoke off the foot. This thing is just oily. You can just see the oil on it. Look at that. Look at that wrapper, how oily it looks. There's like spots of oil on it. Wasn't sure if we were going to need to light it. Try not to do that. Trying just to toast it and light it. Apparently that's a much better way to go. You're not burning the end of the stick. Wow. So I've heard a lot about these cigars, Year of the Dragon, or Black Dragon, sorry, but never had one. So this is it. This is my first go. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you guys have had these and what you're drinking and smoking today. What's everybody up to? It's got a great draw. Pretty much perfect right in the middle. Retro is kind of dusty. Kind of tastes like sawdust. A lot of leather on this stick. Not a giant leather fan, but for some reason today it's hitting the spot. I wasn't going to pick something like this. I was going to pick something a lot more sort of mild, leaning towards Connecticut. This is definitely not what I had in mind today, but I'm really glad I'm here. Checking out this Black Dragon. I've got some Churchill cigars that I don't look at very often. They're just sitting in their own like humidor, Tupper humidor, whatever it's called, Tupper. What the heck's it called? You guys are yelling at me right now, going, "It's a humidor, a Tupper humorware." I don't know. You know what I'm talking about when you use a Tupperware container and make it into a humidor. Got some plum there, a little bit of fruit, a little bit of really dark fruit. All right, speaking of fruit, Fruity Pebbles. So, I have never had this whiskey before. This is the George Dickel. This is a bourbon whiskey. It's an 8-year product. There's a lot of people online. Bruzel is one that's famous for it. He talks about how these whiskeys, the George Dickels, taste like Flintstone vitamins. They got a very minerally flavor to them. This was not a very expensive bottle. This is like a $32, $33 bottle. I really like the bottle. I like how it has his name stamped in it there. It's pretty cool. But I was dying to try this just to see if Bruzel's right. This is a 90 proof bourbon whiskey. Cascade Hollow Distillery. It is a handmade small batch, charcoal chill filtered. So that reminds me right there, when you say charcoal chill filtered, reminds me of Jack Daniel's stuff. That's what they do. They charcoal filter everything. So that's what it makes me think of right away. All right, we got that out of there. Let's do a cork pull. Not bad for a plastic, lousy kind of cheap cork here. You know, nothing fancy about that. Again, this wasn't a very expensive product, so let's get it in a glass. All right. It smells really sweet. It smells like caramel and butterscotch, like a typical bourbon would smell. We'll let it chill out for a minute while we get rained on here. Like I said, I was not going to make a video today because of the weather conditions. It's so dark and dreary out here. But when I found this stick and realized I had a bourbon I didn't know I had that I never had before, I thought, what the heck? Let's get out of here and make a video. Tupperware. That's what it's called when you make a Tupperware into a humidor. Tupperware. It's a nice big stick. I was going to smoke something small, something with a lot less profile to it. Although this isn't, so far, this is pretty mild. This is not real strong. Yeah, this is good. Not burning real even. Got a little hot spot going on there. See that? Everything on this side looks great, and it's got this just boom. There's a possibility that this stick is a little under humidified. My process of storing cigars isn't exactly perfect. They are not stored in a humidor, so it's possible that that stick isn't perfectly humidified. I don't necessarily think it's super bad or good, but all right, let's try this whiskey before it gets too much rain in it. This is a Tennessee product too, so the charcoal filter thing is making me think about Jack Daniels. All right. 8 years old, here we go. Inexpensive 8-year-old aged bourbon whiskey that people say tastes like Flintstone vitamins. Down the hatch. I'm not getting any of that Flintstone vitamin thing. Not at all. Maybe I got the wrong Dickel, George Dickel, but I'm not getting any Flintstone vitamin-y, mineral-y, nothing. I mean, I'm getting vanilla and maybe some brown sugar, sort of sweetness. Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, there's better $32, $33, whiskeys out there, but I see nothing wrong with that. Yeah, tastes pretty good. Oh, wait a minute. It's kind of coming in on the end now. Now it is kind of coming in on the end. I'm getting a little bit of what he was describing, of what Bruzel was describing, like a mineral-y, literal Flintstone vitamin-y vibe on the very, very end. And it took like almost, a whole minute to get that? All right, I don't want to cut this video. Short. I mean, it might be a little shorter, but I'm literally getting drenched here, so I'm gonna move back a little bit. Boy, I'm really batting 1,000 today with dropping stuff. I'll tell you what, man. Things are not going so good. Not going so good at all. All right, hang on a second. Like I said, I was not going to make a video today just because of this chaos that's going on here. Just too much happening with this weather. The weather is just a nightmare in the Northeast right now. We've had snow for days. Snow for days and winds and rain. Very bad weather situation up here. Hope the weather's better where you guys are. So, all right, back to business here. Yeah, you'd think something called a Black Dragon would be much more intense than this. I mean, in the first third, this thing tastes like Cheerios, leather, and chocolate. When I say chocolate, I'm talking cocoa powder, no sweetness. But this thing has no spice at all. Literally on my tongue, there's nothing going on. Zero spice. Can't wait to get back to that bourbon and see if it has that mineral Flintstone-y finish again. I was shocked two ways on that. Shocked that, number one, it didn't have it at first. I expected to take a sip and it tastes like, if anybody watching this didn't have a Flintstone vitamin when you were a kid, you might not have been a kid in America. I'm just saying. No offense, but it's possible you're not actually here. You're not alive. You're not a kid. You were never a kid. You were just maybe born an adult, or maybe this is like the Matrix and you're just not actually here. Because even if your parents didn't buy them for you, you had a sleepover at a friend's house who had them, and you ate one there. But anyway, yeah. So I expected to get it right away, and then when I didn't get it, I was like shocked, and I thought, oh, maybe I have the wrong bottle of this George Dickel. You know, maybe I bought the cheap shit, and that's why I'm not getting it. There's nothing on the smell. Still zero on the smell for the mineral vitamin stuff. Let's try it again. Still nothing. If it hits me in a minute, it's so weird. I mean, if anything, it's a testament to how long the finish of this bourbon is. The fact that I'm picking up, there it is. Wow. That's so strange. That is like that might be one of the strangest whiskeys I've ever drank. Or not might be, it is. Yep, there, it's in the end. How could that bother you, Bruzel? It doesn't make sense. Why would that bother you so much? That it comes in at the end like that? Who cares? By then, you've already had another sip, usually. Unless his palate detects it sooner than mine does. Because I'm getting it, I mean, time it on the video. A literal minute after I take a sip of that. Here comes that wind they were talking about. Here it comes. I hear it. I hear it blowing in. Power flickered earlier, went off and came back on. Just enough to mess up everything I was doing. Oh, you have clothes in the dryer? Let me turn that dryer off for you. Oh, you have clothes in the washer? Let me turn that washer off for you. Oh, you're watching a movie? Let me just shut off your PlayStation for you so that you can't stream the movie that you're streaming anymore and you have to turn everything back on. This is a very mild cigar. I will admit something that is usually not the case. I had 2 bourbons and a espresso martini before I had this bourbon and cigar, obviously, and it's too cold for this to touch it up. Just want to touch it up a little bit. Man, being a cigar exploration channel, I did not consider winter when I started this channel. I did not consider winter. It's like never take for granted what you've got going on, because, man, so today I have had a couple drinks before I started, but usually I come in here clean. But again, back to my excuse, I was not planning on making a video today. Sorry, Old Glory. You're just getting hammered today. I didn't mean for you to get all wet either. Well, it's just one of them things, you know? Yeah, this cigar is pretty shocking. Not shocking because it's strong or anything like that. It's shocking because it's pretty weak. And it's pretty surprisingly weak. I expected it to be a lot stronger. I mean, based on the wrapper and the name, you know. I mean, my experience with GURKHA hasn't been super strong stuff, but I mean, this thing, very mild. Very, very mild. I think it's really good. Really good bourbon. I mean, the 8-year age statement on it, that's pretty good. I mean, for 32, 33, I forget what it was. It might be $32.99, $33. You know, they say $10 a year. So based off of those rules, this should be an $80 bourbon. I obviously wouldn't have paid that for it. Not on this channel anyway. Very rarely will you see something that's even an MSRP of $80 on here. You know, but typically I obviously would have paid a lot less. I had that Derringer PX Sherry cask on here that was an $85 MSRP in the state I live, Pennsylvania. Got that for $55. That's kind of my style. I would prefer it be like that. So if this was an $80 bottle of George Dickel, you wouldn't see it on here. So the fact that you're getting a $33 bottle of 8-year-old bourbon, I mean, I think that's a winner all day. As long as that, and there's that mineral, there's that Flintstone vitamin creeping in. As long as that doesn't bother you, which it doesn't bother me at all. Not even a little bit does that bother me. I kind of like it, actually. It makes it very unique and interesting. Yeah, I'd say that's a definite buy. This GURKHA, $8 to $10. I've had it for so long, I don't even remember, to be honest. But I remember when I bought him, I bought like a sort of little, was like a kind of like a variety pack of them, of the Churchills. You've seen quite a few on the channel if you've been watching me. All of them are good, in my opinion. I know GURKHA gets a ton of hate. But not from me. I actually really like the GURKHA. I think it's good. Yeah, I think the GURKHAs are good. It's like a very mild, I would say a very mild, leathery chocolate cigar. You know, nothing crazy, but not bad at all. I can't let Old Glory suffer. I got to take her down. Yeah, it's just nasty out here. It's just flat out nasty. It's a little after 4 o'clock where I live. They had called for big wind gusts and things like that, starting at like, I guess they said starting at like 1 o'clock, and then they just never happened. So I was like, oh, that's the perfect opportunity for me to step outside and have a a cigar, make a video, and as you can tell in the last literal 15 minutes, all hell's breaking loose out here. Literally all hell's breaking loose out here. Hang on a second. Wow. Yeah, so definitely not ideal conditions to make a cigar exploration video, but we're gonna pound through this thing. We are already out here all set up. Everything's wet now. A wind has kicked up. This is almost the equivalent of what I would consider like a thunderstorm in the middle of winter. Temperature is just dropping. I can just feel the temperature just plummeting. We're just going to keep the party going here. What are things like where you guys live? Got to be better than this. All right, here's this cigar band. GURKHA Black Dragon. This thing's pretty cool looking. Nothing on the inside, but some pectin. Woo! Wow. Nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Whew. 90 proof bourbon's good though. Ooh, man, oh man. Wow. This is crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. Woo. Wow, we just cannot find a spot here where I'm not getting hammered by wind and rain. Well, so my first thought was don't make a video today, and that was right. I'm just not going to let this get me down. I'm just not. I'm not going to let this change my mood and ruin my my Sunday. I'm just not. I'm going to enjoy this cigar, hang out with you guys, and drink some of this weirdly Flintstone vitamin-y finished whiskey. And that's it. And that ceiling fan is not on. That is just the wind blowing it. Yeah. Wow. It's a heck of an afternoon out here. I sure hope the weather is better at the Daytona 500. I know that was going on today, and I saw Trump was going to be there. Hopefully that's not rained out. I haven't had a chance to check it out. I've been busy doing other stuff. Didn't even get a chance to turn the TV on yet today. Been doing some cooking, some cleaning. thing's burning better now that I touched it up. Seems pretty good. Boy, it sure seems like in the past few minutes the temperature just plummeted out here. Like it went from in the 40s to in the 20s, it feels like. Man, it's sure cold out here now. That wind is whipping. This is what the weather was supposed to be like earlier, and it just took a turn for the worse here real quick. If you're still here hanging with me, thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys. Leave a comment. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what you guys think. Is this what you expected when you clicked on this video? Probably not. Like I said, that ceiling fan is not on. That is just blowing from the wind. At least I have an excuse for having bad hair today. Bad hair day today. A little windy. So I'm into the second third of that cigar, and it is finally giving me something. Starting to get a little tiny bit of spice on my tongue, back of my tongue, and top of my throat especially when I retro it. But that cigar, much milder than I thought. I don't know if a lot of the GURKHA stuff seems like a lot of hype. You know, you name something Black Dragon and it has a leaf on it that's that dark and oily. You expect, or at least for me, I expect, being kind of an amateur like I am, I expect it to be kick-ass, strong, at least medium to strong. This thing's mild to medium, surprisingly, kind of shockingly a little bit. This Dickel's getting cold. Starting to get really cold in the glass. I'm sure the bottle's getting cold. Show it to you guys one more time. George Dickel Bourbon Whiskey, aged 8 years, from Cascade Hollow Distilleries. It is charcoal chill filtered. And it is handcrafted small batch, 90 proof whiskey. About $33 in Pennsylvania where I live. Woo, look at the rain just blowing sideways into where I'm at here. Man. What a storm. Hey, you know what? At least it's not snow. We got enough of that yesterday. You know what I think would be funny? As if you were hanging out with some of your buddies somewhere nice and warm, having a cigar, hopefully some whiskey or some coffee or whatever you like to drink, and you put my video on so you guys can laugh at me. And like look at this guy freezing his ass off outside, literally getting rained on under his porch. Literally 6 feet, 5 to 6 feet under my porch, still getting rained on. It's almost like these are comedy videos at this point. Like these are meant for people to watch and laugh at. This is a good cigar though. can't help it. I like these Gurkhas. Leave me a comment. Tell me how I'm stupid. Tell me how I don't know what I'm talking about. I like them. I had somebody comment and say that I'm wrong, basically, that Gurkha sucks. And listen, I'm not going to say you're wrong. You have a right to your opinion, but so far, so good. I've had, 5 or 6 of these? Explored 5 or 6 of these on my channel. I think they're good. I like them. That Gurkha 130th anniversary, I had a few of those. I made a short about them. Those things are great. I mean, they had plume on them. They were like a legit, well-aged, I don't know what the retail is on those. I don't know what they cost, but I thought those were really good. They were a giant stick, even bigger than this one. I don't know if they were a Churchill, but they were a big old stick. Like it felt like they were like 10 inches long. They weren't that big. They might have been 8s, maybe an 8-inch, maybe like an 8x52 or 8x50 or something. But they were giant. Not that being big makes you better or good, but I don't know. I like big cigars. I like big Churchills. I like these, 50-ish gauge, 7-8 inches in length. I like to retro while I'm actually taking a drag. While I'm drawing the cigar, I like to retro. It took me a little while to figure that out. You gotta smoke a few before you can figure that out. I'm sure there's some people that there's probably some people that never can get that, and other people that, can do that right away. It took me a couple of months to figure out how to do that. Sort of relaxing one part of your palate and pushing on another. It might be easy for some people, difficult for others. I don't know. I'm interested to try this after it wasn't cold when I first tried it, but it's obviously gotten cold out here. Just like me, gotten cold out here. So I'm interested to try that after it's got some air in it for a couple of weeks and when it's not cold. I'm going to post this video today though, so I'm not going to have a chance to explore this whiskey any further than what you see on this video today. I might go back after the fact and add something to the description, but for $33, if you can get this for $33 where you live, and there's that mineral-y vitamin thing. It does take a minute. After you swallow, it literally takes a minute. I wasn't timing it. I'm just guessing it's about a minute. It takes about a minute for that to kick in. But again, I don't. If I hadn't watched, it's Bruzel. You guys know who Bruzel is. If you don't, check his channel out. He's the Whiskey King. So if you watch his videos, anytime anybody talks about Dickel, he just mentions about how he doesn't like it because of calls it Flintstone vitamin mineralness in it. And but if he didn't say that, like if I didn't watch his videos ahead of time, for whatever years now I've been watching him, I don't think I would have picked up on it. It's just because he said it. I mean, it's all over my mouth right now. It leaves an aftertaste of, and I don't know what that is. Like, I don't know what that would be. It has to be something with, obviously with the way they distill it. The equipment that they're distilling it in, maybe? I don't know. I don't know enough about it to really be able to tell you. It's just a guess. I can't imagine it's the water or anything like that. I can't imagine that the water is doing that to it. I mean, it's a Tennessee product. You guys know how I roll. I only do Kentucky and Tennessee whiskeys on this channel. Getting kind of away from the leather a little bit, going into more of like a coffee bean area. I don't think I'm going to make a video about this, so I wanted to mention this too. I'm sure very few of you are here right now, but if you are, there's a place I buy cigars from called cigarpage.com, and they have something called nude nubs, which is the nub cigars, but they just don't have a wrapper. They just don't have a band, cigar band on them. But I've been getting them for $2 a piece, and really been enjoying them for quick smokes. I've gotten the Cameroon ones as well. I think I made a short about that, and also the Connecticut wrapper on those. And for short smokes, for $2 smokes, you're basically looking at a cigar that's this size. It's a little thicker. I think they're 58s gauge, 58 gauges. But they're great for the price. If you are short on time, or you live where I live and it's freezing and you just don't want to be outside, for a very long time, you just smoke one of those. It takes you 20-30 minutes to get through it. It's got the quality, just not the time. And then, heck, you smoke two of them if you want. Maybe you smoke one, you go and have some dinner or do something you need to do, and then you go and smoke, have another one. Last night I smoked a Cameroon and then a Connecticut. I smoked them out of order. I should have smoked the Connecticut first, really, but they were both enjoyable. Thought they're really good. A lot of that vitamin now. A lot of that minute. Now I know what he's talking about. I knew 20 minutes ago in the video, but now I really know. I'm getting to the end of the pour. There's not much. I try to pour like a 2-ounce pour when I do this. Maybe it's a little heavier. Might be 2.5. You get no smell of it though. There's no smell of any of that mineral vitamin-ness at all. But it's all over my mouth. And there was that plum. I mentioned earlier that the cigar tastes like plum a little bit. Got a little more of that. Like a very purpley, darky fruit flavor without any sweetness. And plum is just what pops in my brain. Yeah, these GURKHAs aren't perfect. There's some issues. You can see the leaf cracking there. It's got a big old crack in it. The end's fine, but it's not perfect. I think these sticks just get a bad rap. I feel like if they had a different cigar band on them, people would treat them a little different. They aren't very... I wanted to say the word rewarding. I wanted to say they aren't very rewarding, but they aren't very... They don't give you a lot. This isn't giving me a lot. It's called Black Dragon. You'd think... If I knew nothing, which I really don't know anything, but if I knew less than I knew, and you said, here's a Black Dragon cigar, and it looked like this, it had this kind of wrap. Look at the color compared to my skin tone. If you said, here's a Black Dragon cigar, correct me if I'm wrong. What do you guys think? If you said that to me and handed me this, I would be thinking, dang, this thing's going to be killer. It's going to be strong. It's not going to be some mild, medium cigar. What it is. Getting down to the last third now. You can see the wrapper right there. It is just dark and oily. It is no joke. Or at least no joke looking. Very little spice. I'm not disappointed, by the way. Don't take this as a I'm disappointed kind of a thing. I like the profile of it. I'm glad it's medium. I'm glad it's not a killer stick that I have to struggle to finish or don't want to finish. You know, I want to be, when I smoke a cigar, I want to be upset that it's gone. I don't want to be happy that I'm done with it. I want to be mad. I want to be like, oh, I wish that lasted another 20 minutes or whatever. I don't want to be excited to be done with it. And I'm not. I'm not excited that this is going to be done in 20 minutes. It's good. Yeah, it's Bourbon Bill. His name is Bourbon Bill. Check his channel out on YouTube. He talks about Dickel. He's got some good shit. He's got some serious George Dickel stuff that I'm sure blows this away. Paying for it too, but it's these guys make some good stuff. And like I said, I'm right there when it comes to Tennessee whiskey, Tennessee and Kentucky whiskeys. What I'm all about. Cigars, I thought I had it figured out. I thought I was a Nicaraguan cigar guy. Then I met Francisco Almonte from Dominican Big Leaguers Cigars, and he's a Dominican guy. So now I'm a Nicaraguan Dominican guy / who knows what else, because I'm so new that I'm just exploring and learning new things about everything. And why should I limit myself? I've been drinking whiskey for a while now, so I think I got whiskey figured out. But when it comes to cigars, I'm just starting out, just figuring things out. So no reason for me to go, oh, I'm not going to smoke something from the Dominican. That would just be crazy. I think I mentioned it earlier, this thing had a great draw. There's nothing wrong with the draw on this thing at all. It's like perfectly right in the middle. Nice. This thing's nice. All right, you guys, I'm going to finish up the last third of this thing. I'm freezing my nuts off out here. I am going to finish that stick. It is very enjoyable. I recommend that, as well as the Dickel. George Dickel, Bourbon, 8-year. Recommend both of these things to you guys, especially for the money. This is a very reasonably priced bourbon at 33 bucks. I mean, for an 8-year, I don't see how you can go wrong. You do get a little bit of that Flintstoniness, little vitamin / mineraliness at the end, but it doesn't bother me. Kind of enjoy it. I remember those vitamins when I was a kid. We used to fight over certain colors of them growing up. I got a couple siblings, and I remember arguing about who was going to get what colors. We raced to the breakfast table to fight over the colors of the vitamins. All right, guys. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Like I said, I'm going to put this video up today. So if I find anything else in that stick in the last third or in this bourbon, I will let you guys know. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks for being here. See you guys.